Hi, commissioners. Sean is on her way up. She's in the election room, so it should be just a minute. So Doug, is your picture real or is that a screensaver?
It is a real screensaver. That's where I'm at.
Wow. Callie, I know yours is. You're at the college, so that's not a view from the college.
Looks like we're
That's
all going
gorgeous.
remote today.
Yep, you are.
You see Jennifer's bookshelves are so nice and organized.
I know. Is that a screensaver, Jen, or is that actually your office?
I was gonna say, I'm impressed.
Yeah, my bookshelves don't look like that.
Neither did mine.
So we are recording and we are live streaming at this
Okay,
point.
so we're live and recording, so. One thing, commissioners, if you want to look in ClearGov. The agenda, or do you need me to go get one?
I have it. All right, so are we ready to go?
I am.
She's getting me up.
This is a special meeting for September 30th, 2025 for the Board of County Commissioners of Rio Blanco County, Colorado, calling this meeting to order at 11:02. This is a tentative agenda, which includes all information available, excuse me, as of September 26th, 2025. The final tentative agenda will be posted at the RBC Historic Courthouse, 555 Main Street, Meeker, Colorado, and at the Rangeley Town Hall, 209 East Main Street, Rangeley. I would entertain a motion for line item B.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agenda for September 30th, 2025 special meeting agenda. I'm sorry. Yes.
And if I can find my mute button, I will second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is it Sean in the room? Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, will you please call the roll? Thank you.
Overton,
Aye.
Richfield,
Aye.
O'Hare.
Aye. Moving on to business, line item A. I would like to open this up first for discussion before any motions are made. Where are you two at with that?
I'm good with that.
I'm fine with that.
So this is on the hiring freeze that we're on for clerk and recorders, the recording and elections position. So I will let you take it away, Sean.
Just why you're replacing
Oh.
the position.
We're replacing because Jess is done as of October 7th. And so it's the main part is the recording clerk for it. And then she helps out with elections as well. But we have to have that position to run the office as well.
So I understand how critical it is to you, and I'm sorry that she decided to move on. And I personally don't have any problem with this position.
I don't either.
The only thing that I guess I want to get clarified in reading your email, Sean, is that and maybe I can't even get it clarified here. Hold on, let me rethink this. I think you and I need to have a conversation because there was a note on there, but I don't want to bring it up because of personnel reasons. But I will give you a call, Sean, because I do want to get one piece of that clarified because I was a little confused as to the justification.
Okay.
So I will entertain a motion.
So Madam Chair, I would move to approve hiring the clerk and recorder's recording and elections position.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second. Sean, will you please call the roll?
Overton,
Aye.
Richfield,
Aye.
O'Hairn.
Aye. Moving on to line item B in business. Do we want to discuss it first and then do a motion, or do we want to do a motion first?
I
would like to discuss it first. I think
Okay.
that Thad's got a presentation or something, doesn't he?
Oh, okay, I'm like, that job, come on, have an agenda, so it's all right. That's too funny, I'm like. I know, that's why we're like, well, what is line item here? Yeah, so this one's on the county road 17.
So this is 17. Commissioners, just, I had emailed you the, proposal that we had gotten from SGM that had 5 different options. 4 different options. 4 options. One was the full replacement.
Yes.
And, so that, do you all have that? Do you need me to re-email that to you?
It's not in the folder, is it?
It may not be in the folder. I had sent that.
I saw it in the folder.
See, September.
So that was just the real short breakdown on the bridges and,
Okay, I'm gonna forward it to you right now, so you'll have it momentarily.
um, and Thad and I were able to speak with the engineer yesterday to get some additional information on, the report on this bridge. And so, we can go through that right now, if you would like the additional information that we got, and then that way we can get some direction on which way the commissioners would like to go forward with this bridge.
Did you receive that? It did just leave here.
Well, I read when you first sent it to us, I haven't received it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with just tell us what the 3 options are and how you feel about them.
Option 1 is nothing more than a Band-Aid. It will buy us very little time. Option 2, the load rating on the bridge will be fixed, but it will cause other issues, debris, ice buildup, because the piles that have to go down in front of the other piles, and that would move it 3 to 4 feet into the river channel. And on option 1 and 2, if you were to go with them, we still have other issues with the bridge that option 3 would actually take care of.
What is option 1? If option 2 is piles in front of just new piles in there, what is option 1?
Option 1 is drilling holes into the existing piles, and then welding on new plates on the outside of that.
Just repairing the piles that are there.
Yeah, to just repair the piles.
And the way that it was worded to us is that option 1 would give us a little bit of time in order to save money to do a complete repair or a complete replacement on that.
What is a little bit of time?
I doubt they're gonna give you an idea.
They didn't give us concrete, but 5 years was the number that was given to us in
Okay,
regards to that one. And
I don't remember option two. I think it was 5 to 10 years,
Mhm.
just with the other issues that the bridge has. Option three, I believe, was 15 to 30 years.
what are the other issues, Ted?
The deck is rusting. All the whole bridge needs repainted. That's why we're having to repair this, is because it's not been painted and it's rusted. And then the lagging, which holds the dirt behind the piles, is also rusting and failing.
The reason that we're having this problem is because of the degradation of the piers underwater. So I can't see how the painting would have stopped that.
It's the paint, it's on the decking itself, it's on the main beams that hold the bridge. I mean, it's throughout the whole bridge that needs repainted. Otherwise, we're just gonna cause another issue. You know, it's gonna continue to rust and the bridge is gonna deteriorate faster if we don't paint it.
So what I'm hearing you say is that option 3 addresses all of those additional issues besides the part that's underwater.
It actually addresses that. It's new piers, new lagging behind it, new decking, painting. It's just not new material for the bridge deck itself that the decking sits on.
So they're not going to put any cement there. They're actually going to put new piers down beside or in place of or something, and just replace those piers that are going away.
Yeah, there was no concrete.
Okay.
Commissioners, just as a side note, this, so the difference between the options 1, 2, and 3, for option 1, it was 320,000. Option 2 was 380,000. Option 3 is 720,000. And then the last option is a full replacement at 2,160,000. Earlier in the year, I believe at the end of 2024, we had actually allocated enough funds to do the replacement at 720,000 using the ARPA funds that we wanted to try and streamline down. So there had been those funds have been reserved already.
I'm sorry, what, how much was the ARPA funds?
Well, you had 2,000,003 in there, I believe, and we had reserved, I don't know the exact amount on it, but I remember us actually pulling close to that, I think $1 million in there. I can confirm the exact amount, but I know it'll cover the 720.
That if we say to go ahead with this, how soon can they get started and get finished?
It would be a next year problem, probably around this same time frame, if not a little bit later, just because of water.
There's no way they could start it. Of course, we have to go to bid and stuff, so it would be in the middle of winter before they could get started, and that's probably not feasible.
There might be a way that we could start, you know, getting products like the paint and get the painting done of what we could get done. Maybe dig up some of the lagging. I'm not sure on all that exact, but might be able to start a little bit earlier, but the finished product still would not be until later.
Yeah, after the high water, I understand that, but I would really encourage when we do the RFP that we if we approve this, that we want it done sooner than later.
Right.
If they could start on some of it this winter and then pick it up after high water in the spring, that would be really good.
Are we going after any grants for this?
Not for this one.
No,
No.
we actually turned down grants for this because we could do it a lot cheaper without having the federal people or the state people involved.
Okay.
Yeah, the CDOT standards.
And time frame also was a big concern because by the time we would have been able to get it started on it, it would have kicked it out 2 years. So we would not be looking at that bridge being open until 2020,
The end of, I believe, yeah, it was like the end of 2028.
end of 2028. So that's the reason to try and get this a little more expedited.
And that was, and you're assuming that we would have been successful on a grant, that we didn't even apply for yet.
Right. So Madam Chair, I would move to approve option 3 on County Road 17 bridge.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
So what that is the reopening the bridge and maximize remaining lifespan, which is a full rehabilitation, is the way it's titled. For $720,000.
That's the way I understand it, and it's the fastest way to get it open, the most reasonable return on our dollar, and gets things moving.
And I would also echo as quickly as we can make it happen.
Sean, will you please call the roll?
Richfield.
Aye.
Overton,
Aye.
O'Hare.
Aye. Moving on to line item C, which is discussion of County Road 5 Burke Bridge Replacement Repair Project.
Commissioners, if I might, the reason why we have this on the agenda is I believe we've had conversations with SGM, asking them to trace back or pull back some of their requirements. As far as the FEMA flood information, their original estimate or engineering they were going to use was the 100-year floodplain. That there's a possibility they could go back to the 2022 standards.
They're using a lot of years difference, just of what has happened, not the 100-year flood. They're going off of real records. They're trying to go off real actual records of what has happened down the creek as far as the hydrology.
And so kind of an impact, I talked to Dana at DOLA about that. The difference being if you want us to go out for a CDOT grant, they will more than likely require us to use the new data, which is the 100-year floodplain. Because in 2022, Rio Blanco County adopted the FEMA floodplain data. So if we go for a CDOT loan, more than likely they'll require us to follow that criteria, which expands the space of the bridge, which makes it a bigger project. If you want to look at getting that down, we don't necessarily need to go for the DOLA grant. I would need to get with Lisa to determine funding. We have been planning for this bridge, so I believe we would have funding available for it. But if you want us to go for the CDOT funding, that will change the SGM. So I guess that's kind of where the question is, what would you prefer us to go for?
Well, let me explain kind of how we got here. Or my explanation of how we got here. When Scott was here, we talked about replacing that bridge, and we talked about doing it with the structure that's there, and it's worked like that for several years. So we talked about just doubling the size of it and putting the bridge back.
And is that a box culvert? Is that what it is?
Well, it would be a box culvert, but right now they are. Thad, help me out. What is that culvert called there? It's a.
You're talking about the contact, the oval.
Yes.
The bridge that's there is on piles and got bridge rails.
The
Okay.
standard bridge. The current structure.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. And then he was just talking about putting a box culvert in there. So we decided to pull back and look at that engineering, the situation that we had going on County Road 17. Well, when we got into it and hired SGM to do this, the money just got away. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. And so I questioned that and asked, why are we doing this? If we don't have the money, we don't have the grant. The reason we were trying to do this was to get this bridge done in a timely manner with less money. And so that's when Vicky went and talked to him and said that this isn't what we intended when we hired you. And so they are kind of pulling back a little bit now, trying to give us a little more. I think that sometimes, well, I know that when we have to deal with state and federal requirements, they just get ridiculous in what they're doing, and it just costs everybody a lot of money. But I also understand we have to have money to do this stuff, and I don't know. That's how we got here. So I'm still concerned that we're spending a lot of money that we don't need to spend, and I don't know if we get a second opinion on the engineering, or I guess I'm going to rely on Thad for some of that.
Can I ask a quick question? So this bridge has been determined by the state that it needs fixed or repaired. Is that accurate?
It's in poor condition.
Yes.
And we've repaired the bridge to the full extent that we can.
Okay,
So from here on out, the bridge, it's gonna need replaced.
okay,
And we won't really know that until 26.
September of 2026, we'll have our next round of bridge inspections,
okay.
that CDOT puts out for the off-system bridge.
So I know that before Scott left, he was working with CDOT on some alternate options on this bridge. Did we ever get any of those reports from CDOT? Do you know, Doug, if we ever got anything? Because
don't believe so.
no. Okay.
I don't believe so. What's driving it is the hydrology reports.
Yep.
So as the hydraulics come down, I mean, we have to have something to support what's coming down the creek. And that's where, the size of the bridge actually comes into play.
And so that data changed when Scott was originally looking at that, thinking that why can't we just go with this box culvert? Well, unfortunately, what happened is because in 22, we adopted the new floodplain zone. That kicked it up to a 100-year flood zone. So in essence, that thing that Scott was looking at would not suffice in that particular area, according to
Hydrology.
Hydrology.
The most current
So-
hydrology reports, yes.
But that's why SGM is saying, okay, well, maybe we take a look at it. And then what would happen is if the county said, no, we're not going to go by that 100-year flood plan. We want you to calculate what it's been actually in the last X amount number of years, and we'll build a bridge to that specification. Excuse me. Then they would prepare, I want to say an exemption, but basically a notice to the commissioners that you would sign off on saying, we understand it's not being built to the 100-year floodplain engineering. We've requested you to bring it to this level. Acceptance of standards. There you go.
So I
So
have,
basically-
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, so based off of FEMA's, stats showed 5,000 cubic feet per second on the Peance Creek Basin. But doing the research through the hydraulic analysis, the designs that we have two options. We have a 2-cell concrete box culvert, or we have a bridge replacement. Would pass a design event of approximately 1,100 cubic feet per second, which based off of the hydraulic information that we have available, that would appear to suffice. It would not meet the FEMA's 100-year, but it would match the historic hydraulic analysis.
Callie, you had a question.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
I think we have to acknowledge, you guys, the fire impacts. The chances are significant of seeing much more water in that creek than we have seen in the last 50 to 100 years. I think we have to be realistic about that. So if it hadn't have been for that, I wouldn't have been so concerned, but I think we do have to be realistic. The other thing I need to note is I need to go shortly. I have a meeting with the college here at 11:30.
Doug?
So a couple of things. The inspection, we have it's kind of a crapshoot on this inspection because we're changing companies again. Is that correct?
The state, yes, they did, they're going with a different engineering firm for the 2026 inspections, yes.
So we don't know, we don't have any kind of a feeling at all what they're going to do. And that's kind of concerning to me. They may go backwards. They may say that it's not as bad as the other one said, and then they might go forward and say you can't even drive on it anymore. We don't know what they're going to do. The wings, or the what reason that it failed before was because of the wings. Is that correct?
That was part of it. The other part was one of the piers and the beam had actually settled and we had to jack it back up and re-weld it back into place. The bridge was actually settling.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that part of it.
Yeah,
So
and we had to re-asphalt over the top.
I think that right now we need to just keep an eye on this and move forward and wait for the next inspection, see what the fire flooding is going to do on the creek. And I don't think it's quite as I don't want to say important, but quite as urgent as the one on 17 is. It's urgent, and there are other avenues that I would like to explore for funding on this too. So I appreciate the conversation, but I think we should just leave it there for a little while.
I'm not opposed to that, Doug. I think we do need to be thinking and planning for the worst case scenario, because we should see in the next year to 18 months how bad the flooding could be. And so if it should happen to take that bridge out, I think we need to have a contingency plan in there, how quickly we can get that thing back, get the road reopened, because that's a pretty major thoroughfare.
And that we do have a contingency plan. It's called County Road 13, because
That's going to be and I get that, but that's only that we need to make that contingency as short a time frame as possible.
Well, I don't know exactly what you're asking, because if that bridge is taken out, it doesn't matter whether it's taken out now or next year. We don't have any way to fix it or repair it or the money to do it. So what are you? I don't understand what you're saying.
I think we got to find a plan, and we got to be finding the money. Because I mean, if you were to take that bridge out, if you were trying to fix it right now, and I get it, it won't be till next year, but if you're trying to fix it when there hasn't been a flood that takes it out, you can do some, I mean, I don't know, you guys that do the bridges know better than I, whether you can do a deal where you could go down, make it pretty low, or set up an alternate temporary bridge next to it, or whatever that looks like. If there's been a flood that takes that out, I think that would be harder. I don't know, but I just want to have there some significant planning on if that bridge happens to get washed out, how quickly can we move? What's the plan to get it back in? I don't want to be 2 years down before it's back in.
When was the last time CDOT inspected it?
September of 2024.
Is because of the situation we're in, can we request them to physically come, because I know sometimes they don't physically come out and look, but knowing our situation, I think we need to request that CDOT comes out and looks at it again physically, not just do what their little inspections that they do. I don't know all the details, but I know sometimes they don't physically come out.
No, I think they do come out and physically inspect them, but I think what you're asking is that we do it now instead of later.
I would like to.
I think that's a good idea.
Is that
If they've got a
possible?
new firm, we need to have, and we're gonna have to, we don't want to be guessing for the next year what they might come up with next year.
So we have a couple of options in regard to that. SGM does have a certified bridge inspector on staff. So I can request a scope of work to have him come out and inspect the bridge as a standard bridge inspection that would be done normally by CDOT. Or I could reach out to the company that will have the inspections in 2026 and see if they would be willing to send somebody out to do that bridge inspection. I do not know the cost involved with either of those, so I could work on getting that cost for you guys.
I would ask CDOT to do
Exactly.
at their cost. I'd start there.
I think it makes sense to ask the firm that's going to be doing it if they can just do it a little earlier because if you do SGM, then the other one is still going to come do it and it's going to cost us more money and I don't know that we're gaining a lot. So that's where I'd start if I were you, Antina.
But wait a minute, Doug. Does the state typically charge us for each and every bridge that they come and review? Or do they cover that?
I don't believe so. I believe when CDOT does every 2 years their off-system bridge inspections, those are actually covered by the state.
So I would just ask that they do that early because of our situation.
And
I
Doug, I think we need to bring it up
investigate
at
that.
Northwest TPR too, in a couple of weeks when we have our Northwest TPR meeting. I think we need to, because CDOT will be there, just ask if that's an option too. But I would like Antina and Thad to reach out to them as well, but we can certainly bring it up there.
Yeah, I agree with that. What's the date on that TPR?
I'll have to look it up. I'll text it to you.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
One last thing, Commissioner Overton had mentioned that we need to find, or maybe it was Commissioner Crisfield, we need to find funding for it. Both the 17 and County Road 5 Bird Bridge projects were included in the 2025 budget. So the funding for that should be in reserves, but I will clarify that with Lisa and get you the amounts. Now, it may not be the correct amounts because we've waffled. 17 was going to be a full replacement. We switched that and canceled the CDOT funding and decided to take it just as a repair. County Road 5 was going to be a replacement originally. We're now looking at that as being so anyways, I will find out. There were funds set aside for these two projects particularly.
Yeah, and I do remember that, but I think that's where I was getting concerned is the County Road 5 was getting way over more than we had money for.
I'm good with that. Guys, I'm gonna run. I'm good with the next two line items, but I'm gonna run. So
All right.
you've got a quorum, so you're okay without me, right?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Thad and Tina and Vicky and all for getting all that put together. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Anything else on that, Thad and Antina, that you need from us?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, mainly, I'll move forward with the direction of reaching out to CDOT and then, go from there to see if I can't get some more concrete answers for us in regards to this bridge.
And we'll help support you guys during our Northwest TPR too, in finding that out. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
May I just insert, since they're here, a little update on County Road 77 Bridge. That's the Anschutz project. We had a good meeting with them. They are couple of just minor things is it will be a change in scope of work. We had originally submitted that as a, what was that thing called? It was,
The single
Single
span,
span.
yeah, single span versus the,
and so we'll need to submit a request in scope of work, a change for the scope of work to go from a single span,
Dual span here.
Yeah.
Middle.
dual span pier in the middle. Dana said there wouldn't be any significant change for him at all. And so that would be fine, but that is again requesting that DOLA change scope of work. The other thing is there was some concern about some gravel that we were gonna use, or the
concrete.
concrete. You say it, Anthony, you know it. I'm gonna get all boogered up.
No, you're fine. Changing the, I guess you could say I guess it is the scope of work on the type of concrete they were going to use and the bridge rails. Were the two additional items that we're gonna work on drafting and Dana with Dola said there was no conflict on his end with doing that.
So when that's drafted, we will bring it to you. Because you will need to approve that change in scope of work. But I just wanted to make sure you guys had that information, that that's what we're doing.
Did the state engineers approve the change in formula or the concrete?
Yes, Vicky, correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, the contractor actually spoke with CDOT and the state said they have no issue with changing the type of concrete. We just need it addressed in official documentation.
Okay,
And CDOT will be sending us a letter saying, and what the letter will say is that this is not a CDOT bridge. It doesn't need to be built to those two specifications. That they are fine with those specifications, that it doesn't impede the integrity, or he used some more verbiage about it.
okay,
So he will give us that on CDOT letterhead. Dana Gola said, that's perfect. We don't care.
okay.
Now the
Thank
county
you.
needs to be assured that we're building the bridge to our specifications, and it
Right.
will well meet that.
Yeah, and there was some stuff about not paving it and stuff. So I'm good with that. I just wanted to know that. Thank you.
Mhm. So the only thing we're waiting on really is Deidre, is the
Sign the documentation, I believe that,
yeah,
Yeah.
right of ways.
yeah, the right of way and the easement. That's
And
what,
then, Don, do you want to give an update real quick about the contracts?
We got the contract in from Mike, or not Michael, Eric Renton, who's the attorney that's working on it. He combined them, he kind of did it the way that I had originally did it. And they told me I couldn't do it that way. So I haven't had a chance to really fly speculate yet. I plan on doing that in the next couple of days to see if we think we can live with that. Part of it's going to be is how much the commissioners are comfortable in not having Anschutz put money in a reserve account for us to use. They want to use about half of it in, I think.
The suggestion has been made that they would put $1 million in for 2025, which then hopefully Lisa would show that's revenue received for $1 million, and they could actually start construction now. Then in the beginning of 2026, they would have to deposit another $1 million to $2 million. And we invoice quarterly. So as we get the half invoice back, we could use that to help fund the final cost of the bridge. Originally, we told them that they needed to build the bridge. We needed the 3.2 up front, or 3.4, whatever the dollar amount is up front, that we would hold in a separate restricted account. Was it
3.44.
3.44 in a separate restricted account? They would like to split that up and do at $1 million right now, since that's all the construction that's going to be happening. That way they keep their investments earning and doing what they need. And then in January, they would give us the next chunk of funds. So we haven't cleared that through Lisa, but once we do, make sure that that would be acceptable, then we'll bring you a formal proposal on it.
Just so for the public, the reason that we're having to do this is because the county has to pay for this bridge. It can't go through Anschutz. So that's why we're getting the money from Anschutz to pay for the bridge, because the checks have to come from Rio Blanco County.
Correct. Okay, that's all I have. Should we move on?
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Doug, I'll do the next one and then you can do the last one.
Okay,
For approval.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I move to approve an intergovernmental agreement with Moffett County Detention Center to provide inmate detainment for Rio Blanco County.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second. We do an IGA with Moffett County because our jail is still currently closed and Moffett County helps us with those services. And so we have to enter into this with them on a yearly basis for those that are being inmates that are being detained. Anything else that needs to be added to that?
Well,
Go ahead, Don.
it's gonna be it's pretty much the same as we've been doing. It's got an increased cost based on inflation and the cost of Moffett County and housing our inmates. I think it's like $72 a day now per inmate. But it's still quite a bit cheaper than if we were trying to house them and then get the staffing to do that. And Anthony was saying our inmate population hasn't been a huge inmate population yet at all. So it's really pretty affordable.
That's all I was going to say, Don. Thank you.
Sean, will you please call the roll?
Overton,
Aye.
O'Hare.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to line item E.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve a letter to the BLM regarding the adequacy of the supplemental environmental assessment with respect to greenhouse gas emissions and air quality for oil and gas leasing in Colorado.
I second. I have a motion and a second. I'm going to assume Reese isn't in there.
No.
Do we have an update on this or just give the public a overview of it?
I unfortunately don't know anything about it. He submitted the letter to you and it is in the packet. If you want, I can pull it up and take a look at it.
I'm in favor of it and I read it and approve it, but I would be pretty bumbling if I tried to tell you what it was without preparation. So if one of you guys can do it.
Give me just a minute. Don and I will noodle it here. He's not on there. Letter to support, here it is. Yep. I could be taking a stab in the dark at this, but doesn't that sound like, Don, that it is basically that the Bureau of Land Management is having to respond to the court mandated remand and to ensure a more thorough evaluation of climate and air quality impacts associated with oil and gas leasing. I'm just gonna guess that, and I'm on, that's probably a pullback of regulations, and that's why they're trying to do this.
Yeah, and it looks like BLM is advocating a more, friendly, emission policy than what they want. And so, this letter is supporting that, supporting BLM in that more lenient emission standards versus the ones that they would, potentially have to do if they follow the mandate of the court.
So it's, yeah, as I'm scanning through this, it's really a federal versus state and supporting BLM. And what, I guess what they're wanting to do with their regulations as far as leasing goes is the way that I'm reading it too, adding on to what you guys said, so. Anything else? Will you please call the roll, Sean?
O'Hare,
Aye.
Overton.
I,
All right, motion passes, and that was the last agenda item. And we will adjourn at 11:46.
okay.